Hello, it's ChinnyVision, the only YouTube channel that thinks it's a clever idea to do a beach Q&A during a yellow alert for heavy rain. The tide is right out. The rocks are very slippery. I can't even keep my feet on them. That's why you're quite far in. But don't worry, I'll get you some nice pictures to put in the view, what you're viewing as well. But the sea has gone to Wales, basically, for we're at ChinnyVision Rocks. And patrons who kindly support the channel have sent me questions to answer, which I'm going to attempt to do in the rain here. It was the 100 patron Q&A. In fact, we now got 101 patrons, totaling £225 a month for ChinnyVision, which quite frankly is much needed right now, because usually I spend the money on the channel, but frankly at the moment it's just about surviving overall. But hopefully, everyone's in the same boat. Not hopefully everyone's in the same boat. Let's rephrase that, shall we? Everyone's in the same boat, but hopefully things are getting better. That's what I meant to see. You're going to see me fall over in front of that camera in a minute. So I'm going to come down here where it's a bit more... Ooh. Yeah, hello. You're down there. Right. So since lockdown started, I have been doing 2 videos a week. So I thought it was a good idea, because frankly I've got nothing better to be doing, and I'm walking around, it's slippery, stop, whoa. Right, I should stop wandering when I am talking and just stay in one place. That's better. Let's come over here. It's all very wet and slippery. It's June in the UK. The Australians on the Discord channel were complaining it was cold over there this morning. Yeah, it's not great here. Anyway, so we've been doing 2 videos a week, or I have, and its channel's really doing well, actually. Lotus has got 3,000 views inside 5 days. G-Lock's got 2,000 views inside, or in under less than 2 days. And views are up to 34,000 a month, which isn't huge by YouTube standards, but by our standards it's pretty good. So thank you to everyone who retweets and supports the channel. And, well, for once the YouTube algorithms seem to like what I'm doing. 5,772 subs now, which is good. All this stuff kind of helps the channel and gets it seen, which is brilliant, because for once I've been concentrating on what I've actually been doing, because usually it's just a little kind of hobby thing on the side I do for enjoyment, whereas it's actually been filling all my time lately, because, well, what else is there to do other than, well, DIY and everything Mrs. Chinny has planned. But yeah, I'd rather be playing old computer games, frankly, wouldn't you? So we've got some brilliant questions here. The best question, and they've been submitted by the channel's Patreon supporters. The best question is going to get a prize. I will decide that prize, because we can't do raffles anymore because Patreon are like that. So the first question is from Dominoid, and he says, what are the best and worst things you've seen in the YouTube comments? The best thing is when people say they've played a game or a view of a machine's rekindled their interest, and really that's what the channel is all about. It's enjoying the stuff, exploring it. Good games, bad games. People sometimes don't like, they say I do too many bad games in their particular systems, and really it's not like that at all. I just kind of, most of the time it's kind of random, and unless it's Superground, which I played the other day and reminded me how bad it is, and I'm definitely going to be showing that one. Worst things, I'm in the comments. Well, we had one last night. A chap called Jay complaining that I was a fanboy and was biased. It's like playground arguments from 30 years ago. He said I was biased in favour of the Amiga because of... It was the Toyota Celica video, actually. And stop walking, Chinny, stop walking. Toyota Celica video, actually. And he said... oh, you've used a faster Amiga and all this, that and the other, and I'm just a fanboy and so on. And yeah, I just say what I see. I say if I like a game, I like a game. If I like a game on C64, I say games are good on C64. I know I'm a little bit of a Amstrad fanboy, but the Amstrad fanboys hate me anyway, because some of them say I shouldn't be reviewing bad Amstrad games that are Spectrum ports because it puts the system in a bad light. You just play the games. That's all you do. You play the games, you present them as they are with an opinion, and then people can go and make up their own minds. And I do make jokes all the time. Lotus video, I said about I was praising the Amiga version and I suddenly hit a slow moving car. Of course I'm going to say that's a ST owner, because it's funny to say that. It's not a personal thing. It is not 1991. Get over yourself and let's have a laugh. Lee Price says, what made you decide to do a YouTube channel or on retro gaming? You ever thought of doing one on anything else? I wonder how much water's on your lens down there. It's 6 years ago, precisely 6 years ago, I decided to do it, and I've been thinking about it a long time before. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh double dear, oh triple dear. Oh dear. That's bad. Well, that's done that in, hasn't it? Oh. Well, there was a minor problem there, and I've had to stop on that camera because it may never work again. Never mind. We carry on. What's a ChinnyVision beach video without a complete disaster? I'll cut in some nice footage I'll take with the 360 camera later on. Right, so Lee asked me what made you decide to do a YouTube channel on retro gaming. You ever thought of doing one on something else? Not thought of doing one on anyone else other than ChinnyVision 2, where I can just do general stuff, which is fine. Why did I do it? Because there wasn't an awful lot of real hardware out there at the time. Wasn't happy with some of the coverage I was seeing, not just on YouTube, in other places as well, like podcasts, people just playing emulators, not reviewing games, but just by looking at YouTube footage. One podcast I was listening to did. That's what kind of annoyed me into kind of prodded me into doing it. I thought about it for a long time. I thought if I'm going to do it, I'll do it real hardware. Brendan asks, what's your opinion on the price inflation of 8-bit micros and anything else these days? Well, any market goes in kind of peaks and troughs and things, and classic car market in the late 80s was insane, and prices went down, then they went back up again in the early 2000s, and now I think they're coming down a little bit. So it goes in cycles. The question you've got to ask yourself, if you're thinking about this as an investment, don't think of it as an investment, but who's going to want this kit when you're no longer around? Is there another generation looking at them like they look at cars? Like young kids drive around in kind of... Well, I saw someone today driving in a classic Peugeot 205. Can't have been, 19, 20, something like that? You seriously telling me 19, 20-year-olds are going to want to play Spectrum games? I don't see it. I can see it in the stats for ChinnyVision. They aren't. The bottom will fall out and all this kit's going to be worthless. Apart from stuff that was special and rare to begin with, and the stuff that's got a foothold in America, so things like the NES, Sega stuff possibly, but your Spectrum, your Amstrads and so on, no, they are. Do not buy them thinking they're an investment. Lawrence asks, is the UK still Belinda? The UK is still very much Belinda. It is grey, miserable and raining. Today is a special Belinda day. Tim asks, younger or older, what's the longest you ever sat typing out a basic program? Not sure. I did quite a few basic listings and things. I can't remember any being particularly long. I hated stuff with lots of data statements, so I avoided that. There was a good 101 Amstrad programs book. Mark Heath asks, a particular year and a game I associate completely with it are my favourite nostalgic memories. What year and what game would it be for you? What game and year would it be for my favourite nostalgic memory? 89, because of all the big games coming out, the Batman games, all the other stuff, all the ocean stuff. It's all one big thing, really. I don't think of a particular year until it all changed in kind of 94, 95. PCs started to come in and all the fun went out of it. Ultra Steves asks, using original hardware for machines is a given and using modern storage solutions too. What's your opinion on control methods? Do you think the experience is only the same when using a single button joystick and keys? Or do you see configurable adapters that let you use the Mega Drive or PlayStation controllers with a second button mapped up for jump as worthwhile? Everyone play with different controllers, so play with whatever you like. Might be quite nice to play some of these games with Xbox controllers, I don't know, but I'm quite happy with my zip stick, really. The thing is, of course, if I'm reviewing stuff as well and they have got up for jump, then you've got to mention that, even if you can reconfigure it with a 2-button joystick, because that's what people would have had back in the day. Andrew Potts asks, what's your take on FPGA-based solutions such as the Mist ER. I've not used any. They've got their place. People seem to like them. They're going to have an increasing place in the future, either, well, FPGAs and various things to replace components in computers, or complete standalone solutions. Warren Pilkington says, what was the worst design decision on the 8-bit computers? For example, non-Atari joystick ports, proprietary cassette decks, etc. Probably not expanding the graphics capability on the BBC Master would be it, because you've got a 128K computer. Why didn't they put extra graphic modes or something in there just to expand it all a little bit more? Also the keyboard on the Spectrum, I know it's cost, but it stopped it being taken seriously. In fact, to be honest, most of the cost cutting on the Spectrum stopped it being taken seriously. Richard Shaw Wright asks, Dizzy, hero, villain, or somewhere in between? Codemasters overused it, but Codemasters got into a habit of overusing him and Seymour, didn't they? Sticking him into Dizzy Down the Rapids, which I've reviewed. Maybe up by the time you see this, may not be. That is particularly terrible. Dizzy Panic, that's terrible. Devalues the brand. Same with Seymour. Super Seymour saves the world, whatever it is. All rubbish. Dominoid asks, how did the Maywood obsession start? That was Bogastronia on Twitter, who sent me a link to this clip saying, I think you'll like this. And it was the late at night video in the club with the board audience. And I watched it over and over again and spotted something new each time. And every time I still watch it, I still spot something new each time. It's an amazing video. But it's fun pop, it's melodic, it's a bit, which Euro pop really, isn't it? It's all fun, they're catchy, they get stuck in your head. That's the thing, you wake up in the morning with a Maywood song in your head. And no one knows them, so it's fun to kind of just keep on promoting them. So one day they suddenly go, hang on, we're selling records in the UK, why is this? Steve Anderson asks, throughout all time and across every single platform, what's your favourite game controller in terms of comfort, feature and style? He mentions the Xbox One controller, and that's pretty good, isn't it? With all the triggers and stuff, how it handles well the wireless one. I used to use that. I've got one on my the retro box I used to use. George asks, could we see a comparison of non-gaming activities on 8 and 16-bit computers, office and productivity? Entirely possible, and nothing planned, but it's something I kind of did in the 30 years of the Amstrad CPC 6128 video, and I'll probably do something again at some point as well. Jonathan Holt says, can we have Jack Hargreaves in the top left-hand corner of every video? Sadly, we cannot. Jack is most litigious from beyond the grave, and that would not be possible. Jack Hargreaves was a British television presenter in the 60s, 70s and 80s who talked about country matters, for anyone not in the UK, from his shed, or what pretended to be his shed. Mark Williams says, what's the best game for a quick bit of arcade fun on the CPC? But I love quick snacks. If we've got kids around, I always give them quick snacks, because they can get into it easily. It's easy to understand. It's colourful. It's attractive. It hasn't really aged. Lord Kern says, what's the better educational game on the 8 bits? I think it's probably the Fun School series, which sold really, really well. Used to be regular in the top 20, didn't it? The Fun School, and especially when you consider they used to split them into different age groups, so they were selling a hell of a lot of copies of that stuff. I can't even see my questions, they're so wet. Warren Pilkington says, which 8-bit game, and I hope this is recording, I hope to God this is recording. This is the worst, this is one of the worst ideas I've ever had for doing this. This is the hardest one. Right, Warren Pilkington, which 8-bit game would you like to go back and be improved, similar to revamps on both Commando and Ghosts and Goblins on the C64? I'd like to see CPC Plus revamps for some of the big Ocean games, Batman, Addams Family, and so on. But also I'd like to see more I don't want to see games necessarily improved, I want to see more ports like we had with Stunt Car Racer on the BBC Master. Right, so I'm going to go and record some footage now to show you, with a lot of water on the lens on the 360 camera, because the Ye4K is probably Ye4 dead now, after the case split open. It should be okay, I reckon. Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to have blue skies and nice things for you to view, but it's the UK in June, so you haven't got that, and I'm only down here until 6 o'clock tonight because I'm going home shortly. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting. Remember, there's stuff on Patreon to check out if you support the channel, because I'm posting stuff quite regularly at the moment. There's a family over there looking at me. I'm going to go now. I'm very wet. This is Chinny Hill, very wet, annoyed, in Cornwall. Bye bye.